came out from a good hard days of working out just now, and I realized like as I was working out today, I kind of wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts and feelings, of course, about what you can do to like save your money and budget how much you spend on a day-to-day basis. And honestly, the inspiration for this was not only because of what I've been doing as of late, just trying to save money in general, but with how expensive things have been coming in the ever growing world, not just throughout here in Hawaii, of course, but throughout everywhere in general and tariffs and all this other shit that's going on, right? I figured to just share some pretty common yet simple things that you can do right here, right now, that you can start and manage when it comes to saving money. So before I dive into like these obvious facts I have on how you can save money, just let it be known I'm not like this big entrepreneur scam artist, whatever you want to call it. Like I don't know shit about money and investments and shit. I tried to learn every single bit of the way, of course, and I would be interested in investing money or trying to showcase like what you can do to do this sort of thing, I guess. But like I said, I'm just simply sharing some simple things that you can do right now for those who are just struggling to make ends meet or just trying to save money and hope that you can save for like that one thing you want to buy one day. So first and foremost, let's get into the obvious ones. So first, for me, when it comes to what you should do to like save your money and manage your budget, is when you have your debit cards and your credit cards, obviously, set a limit to how much money you should spend. So, for instance, when it comes to like debit cards and credit cards, obviously credit cards has a limit of how much the maximum you can spend. So let's say you have $1,000 on your credit card, for example, right? You should set a limit where instead it's like, okay, I have $1,000 to spend on this card. Here we go. You should set a limit to where it's like, okay, I want to spend up to $100 and that's it. Anything more than that, I gotta cut some things off like subscriptions, gotta cut down what I've been spending as of late, etc., etc., etc. And by doing that, you actually like manage and keep a good little note of like how much money you have left in your bank account and such. And trust me when I say this that I'm not one of those that in the past I've seen like where I spend way too much money, I assume I have more money than I should, and then boom, I'm broke as a joke, right? I've honestly seen that instance and those examples happen numerous times from close family members and friends alike, where it's like they have all this money in their account, and then next thing you know, they're absolutely like in the negatives because they overspend way too much than they should, and it comes back to bite them really, really hard to the point where now they owe money instead of earning the money that they earn, if that makes sense. So basically, keeping track of how much money you should spend and having like a set cutoff date, a cutoff amount is what you should do first and foremost to budget how much you spend. Now, a second thing that I honestly would actually advocate for now in the modern day and age is paying a lot of what you pay nowadays with cash only. Now, look, I understand that now there's a lot of businesses out there that only accept cards and other transactions like Apple Pay and Venmo and PayPal, what have you. But I did a little trick back in high school where what I did when I first got my first debit card was I didn't want to touch my debit card because I knew that by using my debit card, I'm going to be meticulously spending money on so much random stuff like anime figurines, video games, etc. And what I basically did was I took out cash on hand, which I understand isn't like the biggest idea of the world because there's a good chance you're going to get robbed or you're going to lose your money or what have you, right? But with cash on hand, at least you are able to physically count the money that you have and keep track of how much money you can actually spend with the amount you have on hand rather than relying on your debit cards or your credit cards when it comes to spending money. So, for instance, if you withdraw $200 is all you're going to have to spend on what you need on a certain amount of a day or within the week, etc. And when it comes to these two things I just showcased just now, obviously I kind of go based upon like a weekly basis. You could do it like day by day with how much money you can spend every day, but I like to keep it on a weekly basis. That way, it kind of gives you more flesh and more time to like actually like frame everything and plan ahead of time how much money you should spend. And if something comes up like out of the blue, like say like an emergency pops up, or you found out last minute your friend has a birthday coming up and you have to buy a last minute gift for them, then at least you know now more than ever that okay, I'm going to have $200 on hand, but in addition, I'm going to add like another $100 to just in case or something like that, right? And I guess the last thing that you could do to invest in money or try to save money or just, I guess, in a way, make money, because I guess I'll wrap this up with one last lesson is recycle. Now, I know that's like a pretty weird way to end this video off, but no, trust me, recycling for me, I've been doing it for quite some time now. For the past 2 to 3 months, I've actually been recycling a lot of cans, plastic bottles, glasses, you name it, you guessed it. And it does honestly pay off because not only are you helping the environment with what you're doing by recycling, but you're also getting money back in your pocket. Even though it's not much, you can then use that money to save it for something big and something lavish that you want. And right now, I've actually been starting to do this right now, where now every time I go to the recycling center and turn out all my cans, my bottles, etc., I, of course, would use all the physical money I got from the recycling center and just store it away. I don't bother touching it. I don't bother spending it until I hit like a certain amount, and that's when I say, you know what, fuck it, we'll do it live, rip it, turn it into like a much bigger bill, and then maybe spend on something more lavish that I really want to have in my life right now. And honestly, I think that's really about it. I mean, look, like I said in the beginning, I'm not like this big money entrepreneur enthusiast out there. So take my advice that I have shared with you right here, right now, with a grain of salt. I did the best I could. But of course, if you have any other money saving suggestions, what do you think? Please let me know down in the comments, I suppose. And yeah, that's all I want to simply talk about. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Later.